Hello boys and girls! In this series I focus on mastering specific aspects of Factorio. Today we will look at space travel. While it's fairly easy to build something that technically survives in space, the real goal is building something you actually trust. A platform you don't have to constantly supervise. Something you can leave running, go AFK, and when you come back it's still doing exactly what it's supposed to do. We will cover this by following the natural progression of space platforms. We will start with a stationary platform in Nauvis orbit for space science. Move on to mobile platforms for the inner planets. Then look at the fast variant for Gleba to avoid spoilage during transit, and finally head towards Aquilo and beyond. The starting platform is straightforward and serves as a gentle introduction. It may end up larger than strictly necessary, but that's not a real issue. There's still a hard limit to how large a platform can become, but within that, looks don't really matter. This is a clear case of form following function. The platform does not need to look good, it just needs to work. In Nauvis orbit you don't need defenses, so you can focus entirely on balancing collection, science production and power. Since the platform does not move, its shape is largely irrelevant. Once you've found a good balance, it's best to stick with it. Expanding while maintaining that balance can be tricky, so it's often easier to build a second identical platform and simply double the output. If we aim for an output of 15 space science per second, we need 0.5 oxide chunks and 0.3 metallic and carbonic chunks per second. Looking at spawn rates, 45 metallic, 30 carbonic and 15 oxide per minute, we can see that even with perfect collection we only get about half the oxide we need. Building the platform also reduces the available spawn area. If this kind of calculation feels familiar, it probably resembles capacity planning outside of Factorio. Whether you come from engineering, logistics or just enjoy spreadsheets, the idea is the same. Identify the bottleneck, then design around it. Because of this limitation, the design uses a compact core for processing, crafting and power, combined with a skeletal structure that maximizes the area available for chunk collection. Taking factory consumption, peak collector usage and the 300% solar panel efficiency into account, the platform still requires 73 solar panels. Physics remains undefeated. The next step is mobility. A ship that travels between planets needs a thruster and fuel. This design works for all inner planets, Vulcanus, Fulgura and Gleba, though we'll later adjust it for the last one. The challenges remain the same: sufficient production and enough energy. On top of that, larger asteroids start to appear, which means you need turrets. Yellow ammunition works well here, especially if you subscribe to the idea that things shouldn't hit your ship. Additional storage is also useful to transport larger quantities of materials. Travel speed depends on the number of engines and the width of the ship, which is why these designs tend to be long and narrow. While moving, asteroids spawn in front of the ship, so collectors and turrets must be placed there. Speed isn't critical at this stage. so a single engine is sufficient. If you need more throughput, you can simply add more ships, much like you add additional trains. Many values can be calculated, but spawn rates vary along the route and ship width is limited, so collection layouts need to be adjusted accordingly. For the ship heading to Gleba, speed becomes far more important to prevent science packs from spoiling during transit. Here we build on proven inner-planet design but replace solar power with nuclear. This is excessive in terms of power, but if you want 3 engines, everything else has to triple as well. This is how engineering problems politely escalate. To improve chunk collection, the ship's shape is changed to a triangle, slightly increasing its width. This also means turrets are needed not only at the front, but along the sides, which require an ammunition belt. If you enjoy this kind of over-engineered problem solving, a like or subscription lets me know I'm not alone in this, and that these deep dives are worth continuing. The next ship, bound for Aquilo, is an improved version of the Gleba design. Speed is no longer a priority, so we return to a single engine. Because this ship is larger than the other thruster-based platforms, it will be slower overall. On the way to Aquilo, we encounter asteroids that are too large to handle with turrets alone. To deal with them, we need rockets, which must be produced directly on the ship. By this point, advanced asteroid processing is available, providing sulfur and calcite. These allow us to produce coal and explosives. I also replaced electric furnaces with foundries to benefit from their productivity bonuses. New fuel recipes are unlocked as well, making fuel production more compact and efficient. The final ship in today's video is designed to collect Prometheum chunks, which are found on the way to the shattered planet. You don't go to the shattered planet. You approach it respectfully, take what you can, and then leave in one piece. This is where the challenges ramp up. The asteroids grow both larger and more numerous. The biggest ones require a railgun, a directional weapon that can be placed at 40-degree angles, a rare exception in Factorio. These are picked up when passing by Aquilo, where they are produced. In addition, I have researched several levels of explosive damage, so 2 rockets can destroy an asteroid, as well as bullet damage to save on ammunition. With Aquilo unlocked, the nuclear reactor can be replaced by a fusion reactor. This is better suited for space travel, as it provides lower but more consistent power. The overall design builds on the previous ship, with several improvements. The most important addition is railgun ammunition production, which is fortunately quite simple. I also doubled the number of thrusters, giving the ship a modest speed increase. This ship follows an unusual travel plan. It only has one scheduled stop, the shattered planet. The return trip is triggered by an interrupt, which sends the ship back to Nauvis once ammunition drops below half capacity, or once enough Prometheum has been collected to fill the cargo hold. Storing the chunks efficiently is another challenge. Cargo bays are surprisingly inefficient here. Each chunk occupies a full slot. Each extension adds only 20 slots, and the structure consumes 16 tiles. If you instead route the chunks through belts occupying the same space, you can store 128 chunks in those 16 tiles. This is why the ship ends up looking like a bowl of spaghetti. When the belts are empty, it's often hard to tell where anything goes. There is one final ship design I won't cover here. A platform capable of reaching the shadowed planet itself. This is an achievement pursued by only a small number of dedicated engineers, and anyone attempting it will already have the required knowledge. That said, the final design shown here provides a solid foundation. You would simply need far more ammunition production to survive deep space. That's it for this topic. Next time we will tackle the intimidating subject of circuit networks and look at applications that can truly elevate gameplay and automate even more systems. Until then, goodbye!